Learn how to use reflect apply method to execute a function while explicitly controlling what its internal keyword points to and passing its argument as a clean array. Normally, in when working with functions in JavaScript, a function belongs to whatever object call it, but there are instances where you may have a standalone function and you want it to temporarily act like a method belonging to a completely different object. In situations like this in older JavaScript, you will use a function prototype. So set a prototype on your function prototype. And then you can then call this method, apply method on it. But in this particular example, we want to look at a modern way through the reflect.apply method, how it turns a pattern like this into a clear unified function call as against the older JavaScript traditional method that I have on the screen. So let's look at the example together. So the first thing is that we need to first have a standalone function. A standalone function that expects a context object. This so now I can go ahead and make the function, and so you make a function in normal way, calling the function keyword and then giving it a name. So in my case, my function name is greet, and I want it to hold a parameter or data of message, and inside it I want to return this simple message, then add space and this dot name keyword. So now here is my standalone function. So now, since I have this standalone function, the next thing I need to do is that I need an isolated data object as well. Isolated data object. And how do you define this? Well, this is just a normal function. So I'll call it a normal object rather. I will call it a person object, and then I will just pass the name to it like this. So let me say the name is Chan. And as you can see, I already have an isolated data object. So now it is time to now bind and execute the function in one clean line. Bind and execute the function in one clean line. And how do you do that? Well, that is where the use of reflect.apply method comes in as against the traditional method. And then for this argument, so we are going to just need a target function. We are going to need a context object, and then we are going to need array of arguments if there is any. So let's move on. Let me make a simple variable where we'll pass the value from that apply method to when it is already available. So call reflect dot apply, and inside this method I'm going to pass my target function, and in this case my target function is greet, so I'll pass it in. Then the next thing is the context object, so I'll pass in my object of person. And finally, I will pass in array of arguments. When you want to make an array, you use square brackets. And in this case, my array of arguments is just going to be a simple string, hello. And then I can go ahead and display the results. Display results. And this, I can go through the usual route of document.getElement by ID, passing demo.inner HTML equals to message, and this should return something, but currently it is not returning anything. So let's look at what is wrong in our console. Argument list, argument of reflect.apply must be an object. Line 54. So what do I have? Yes, I have a grid and I have a person object, right? Okay, I can see the problem. So this is a standalone. This is the isolated function, which is the target function. Then the context object, I omitted a comma here. And then the argument, the array of arguments. So you can see hello Jan. So hello month Jan. If I want to update it, then this as well, you can see it. So hello month Jan. So with what you can see on the screen now, we've been able to, look at how you can use the reflect.apply method to handle isolated function, context object, and array of arguments while accepting the greeting string hello from an argument array. So if functions already have their own apply method through prototype, why do you need to use reflect.apply method? Number one, it's safety against overwriting. If a malicious script or an accidental code tweak override.apply on your function object, it will instantly crash your app. But for the reflect.apply method, it is a global static utility that can never be wiped out or overridden on individual instances. Another thing is for proxy perfection. So just like the get and set method that proxy provided, so apply.method trap used to intercept a function call forwarding argument directly through reflect apply method